Hey, this is the Shug, and you're listening to the Slam Fam Wrestling Network. Welcome to the family. Bitch!
Regal.
Episode 82?
82.
That means we've been on for 82 weeks?
Yes, we have.
You know what that means?
What?
Next week, it's going to be 83 weeks, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, of course, the problem with 83 weeks is after 83 weeks, it's all downhill from there.
Well, fuck. If this is uphill, I can't imagine what downhill is going to be like.
Whoa!
That's exactly what I said the first time we did it.
Yeah.
This time you're offended?
Yeah.
You literally said do it exactly like that again when we re-record it. I'm very confused.
I flubbed a line, folks. It was way funnier the first time, unfortunately. I, of course, am the host.
Hey, so don't ever let this motherfucker tell you I don't delete things.
Wow. I am the most famous man in the state of Iowa in professional wrestling, Timothy Regal.
He was the most famous. He told me this is the flubbed line, folks. You want the uncut version? I'll tell you. He said, I was the most famous man all in. Cody wanted my autograph, and the Bucks wanted to do a moonsault off my tummy.
No, the Bucks didn't. Kota Ibushi did.
They wanted to do a golden moonsault off your tummy?
Golden moonsault off my stomach.
Oh.
I am, of course, the man who popped Tony Schiavonne, who's going viral once again. I think I'm up to 2,000 views on Twitter at this point. With my amazing promo with Tony Schiavonne on the set of World Championship Wrestling. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We really weren't on the set. It was just a backdrop, unfortunately. But
yeah, I was disappointed. I thought it was the real set.
I thought they were actually going to build the set. I was a little underwhelmed, but it was still cool to sit there and have Tony Schiavone interview me, and going back and watching it and realizing that at one point I did nearly break Tony, and the room pretty much exploded. But we'll get into that in a minute, folks.
Did the room really explode?
The room popped. They were pretty excited. I pretty much got a standing ovation.
Yeah. You know who you didn't pop?
Who?
Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Why?
You know what would happen if you did?
What?
Pop goes the weasel.
Wow. Folks.
That's really not funny.
Alex, of course, was in Iowa City, which you will hear all about tomorrow on the SCW show.
If we do one this week.
We're
going to do one this week.
Okay. I took my way up to Chicago for StarCast and All In, and I'll just preface this by saying it was possibly the greatest 4-day experience I've ever had in my life. It was definitely the greatest vacation I've ever been on. One of the greatest wrestling shows. It surpassed everything I thought I could do and more. I cannot... we'll get into it, but I guess I'm going to say I guess we should start at the beginning. We got up there.
Hey, yes. Oh. Go ahead. Keep going, Regal.
You're on the phone while we're recording?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Just don't worry about it.
Okay. But,
I figured you were going to do most of the talking this week. I got some business to take care of. Hey, John, it's Alex. John G, this is Alex McCarthy, 7-Star Mind at One Real Smart Alex. Regal, I'm doing this podcast gimmick with Regal here, recording an episode of Off the Chest. I was just going to see when you wanted to record the SCW show this week. Regal, get off your phone.
You are unprofessional.
You're supposed to be carrying the podcast right now. It's the same thing he does on commentary. I'll need to take a drink or do something or check my phone, and he'll just stop talking. So just shoot me a text and let me know when you want to record this week. All right, take care. Bye. You're the best referee in Iowa. Bye.
You are so unprofessional.
I'm professionally unprofessional.
You wow.
I'm the unprofessional professional.
But yeah, got up there Thursday. We thankfully our hotel and Starcast right off the highway.
Tell them who our is. Tell them who you were there with.
Myself and Doug Ritter, friend of the podcast, been on the podcast a couple times. Doug Ritter. You
never give people context. You just assume they know everything about you. How are we supposed to build a new audience?
Okay, so myself and Doug Ritter, first thing we did, we pulled up to the Hyatt Regency, went in quickly, and thankfully due to the fact we were platinum VIP Starcast bracelet holders, we went in, got checked in, got our bracelets. We as I was walking through the lobby,
The draft doesn't start till 7, does it? Regal, keep talking.
You're on the phone.
You're talking. It's all in episode. I wasn't there. Talk about Starcast. Regal, talk. Regal, this is off the chest of Timothy Regal. You cut a promo with Tony Schiavone. You got to Starcast. They made you wear a bracelet. It hurt your wristy. Keep going, John. When do you want to record this week?
I'm actually still rubbing my wrist. I basically have what I call phantom wristband.
What's your schedule
I
tomorrow
can
night?
still feel the wristband on my wrist. But as I was walking through the lobby, I met Mr. Tony Schiavone, who of course we would become a central figure of the weekend. But Tony just definitely wandering around.
You work till 5:30 or 6.
Stopped and talked to Lisa Marie Varon.
Text me when you're done working.
Victoria from
Nothing.
Victoria from WWE.
I'm done at 4:15.
She was helping ODB set the food truck up. So did that. Went and checked into our hotel.
I can barely hear you over him talking.
Well, get off the fucking phone, asshole!
Yeah. 4:15. 4:15 on Tuesday.
John G, hang up the fucking phone!
Okay. Regal, keep going. Yeah, I know I get summers off because I'm a teacher, but I work other jobs in the summer. Anyways, no, so, yeah, so you want to do like 6:30? Okay.
Folks, I apologize
Sounds
for Alex
good.
McCarthy's massive unprofessionalism in this episode. I did not know
You want to try
that
the
he was
Skype
gonna
thing?
do
We're
this
gonna
stupid thing.
We're gonna preview
and talk.
SCW The Harvest 2 in Dubuque, Iowa.
And talk
at 781
over
Locust Street.
my recap of my... The people want to hear me talk about Starcast and all in.
Then talk about it. I'm
I
not.
can't while you're on the fucking phone. I don't even know if you're really talking to me or if you're just
What?
fucking trolling me and being an asshole.
You know, yeah. Well, no, I don't have you on speaker. No, because I know we already talked about the conditions on which you'd appear on the show.
Can you put him on speaker for a second?
No, I'm not putting him on speaker.
Because you're not really fucking talking to John G.
Yes, I am. He doesn't think I'm talking to you.
I'm gonna kick your ass. Oh my god. So anyway, folks, checked into my hotel, went and got some
Marshall Folk.
delicious Giordano's pizza, and then we
He's ignoring me now.
headed back over to
All right.
the Starcast hotel. There were of course, the place was already packed. People were all filing in.
Yeah. He told
People
me he was
get
going to have to
checked
do a
in.
football thing.
People getting crazy. I was right there. We kind of walked around. Ran into
Gotcha.
former Dreamwave Wrestling promoter Jay Repsol. Ran into Bruce Mitchell from the Pro Wrestling Torch. I was actually standing there right in the front
So
foyer.
about this time tomorrow, we're going to record a great podcast.
Wade Keller from the Pro Wrestling Torch walked in, and Wade was carrying his bags. This was literally 5 minutes before Wade was supposed to go do a podcast. So I said, "Hey Wade, what's up?" And he of course remembered me from
I'm
Waterloo.
ashamed right now. I'll talk to you tomorrow. He's being quiet again.
Because you're pissing me off.
That's true. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. That's John G, who you can follow at the real John G 123.
Fuck John G.
Why are you gonna fuck John G? I mean, he's very handsome, but why are you gonna fuck John G?
I'm trying to do a podcast. If I called Doug Ritter while you were fucking talking on the podcast, you'd be pissed as fucking hell. Our listeners probably didn't hear half that shit because you're over there being an asshole.
You had some pizza. You talked to Jay Repsol. You got a bracelet.
I was telling them about Wade Keller.
Oh, Wade Keller. Yeah, Wade Keller.
So,
he remembered you from Waterloo.
So Wade comes in.
Because there were a lot of people... Never mind.
And literally Wade looks at me and goes, can you watch my bags? I'm like, I guess. Because Wade literally gets there pulls the reverse of the remote. Because he got there 3 seconds before he was supposed to do a podcast. But, so literally he runs with his bags right up onto the stage to do a podcast. And so I was like, well, okay, that's how it's going to go. But the first highlight of the weekend, right off the bat, literally as StarCast began, I was all set. I was the first person in line to call the final 5 minutes of Okada Omega from Dominion with
Were you the first one in line?
Yes, I was. With Kevin Kelly. Okay, so we got on the headset. Kevin, we talked a little bit. He explained how commentary worked, which,
That's good. Hopefully there's an improvement Saturday.
I figured you would enjoy that one. But I wasn't going to be that guy, so I let him do his thing. And we proceeded to do commentary. We got about 4 minutes in. We literally got to the final minute of the match, and the Wi-Fi in the hotel screws up.
How was the match?
It was 7 stars.
Had you seen it before?
It was Okada Omega from Dominion.
That you didn't answer my question at all.
Of course I'd fucking seen the match before! Multiple times!
I love you, Regal.
God, you're gonna make me lose my fucking voice again. The cool thing was, literally, I was supposed to do 5 minutes of commentary, maybe talk to him for a minute, and be gone. Because the Wi-Fi screws up, he said, well, wait a minute. We took the headsets off, and he says to me, you've done this before, haven't you? So I said, well, yeah, and I explained my background working with SCW, and I mentioned that SCW has where the kids from the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy wrestle, and of course he lit up because when he found out I knew who Seth Rollins was. Of course, he had worked with him back in the Tyler Black days in Ring of Honor.
Was he there then?
Yeah, he was there.
I got my timeline screwed up.
Yeah, so he was there when Seth was wrestling in Ring of Honor's Tyler Black, and he mentioned that a Black and Brave student had done a camp that he was evaluating a couple months ago, and he was really impressed. And I'll shout out the student who Black and Brave graduate, one Mr. Xander Killen.
Yeah.
And he actually told me to say hello to Xander Killen for him, which I immediately reached out to Xander via social media and said, hey, Kevin Kelly said, when I posted the picture, I said, tagged Xander and said, hey, Kevin said to tell you hello.
I don't like Xander Killen.
He kind of a jerk.
Because when we're at SCW, he's a jerk, and I'm a good guy. But when we're at 3XW, I'm a jerk, and he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can never see eye to eye.
Yeah. But, so after that, went, and had my first experience of waiting in an autograph in a meet and greet line.
Yeah.
Which, this one wasn't overly bad. And got in to have my meet and greet with 2 people who I very much respect and admire. Mr. Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah.
And Mr. Eric Bischoff.
They were there?
Yes, they were there. And got, I posted on social media, the awesome comic book cover for the Monday Night Wars debate. Signed
they made a comic book about that?
No, they were doing those replica comic book covers.
Oh.
Like the one I got you as a present.
Yes, I appreciate that very much.
You want to talk about that for a second? Since
Regal got me a comic book cover. It's really cool. It's Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler.
It is a parody or homage. Not a parody, I guess. Parody means comic. It's an homage to the infamous Batman cover where Batman's on the playing card and it says, "Be careful, Batman, the Joker's back in town." This one says, "Look out, Memphis, Kaufman's back in town," and is holding Lawler on a king playing card, and the Mid-South Coliseum, like a giant Andy Kaufman standing over the Mid-South Coliseum. It's pretty amazing.
I like it. I'm going to put it up on the wall.
I figured you were going to... That's going to be framed. Your kids, your future children are going to be like, "Daddy, why is that picture on the wall?" Well, son or daughter, as the case may be, it's time for you to learn about the amazingness of Andy Kaufman versus Jerry Lawler.
Mostly just the amazingness of Andy Kaufman. I'm not going to tell my kids about Jerry Lawler.
Well, especially if you have a daughter.
Wow!
Oh, trust
Wow.
me. There was a lot going on. A lot worse going on at the roast of Bruce Pritchard. Let me tell you that.
About Jerry Lawler?
Oh yeah, but
oh wow.
So met Eric and
the funny thing is I wanted to make that joke, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go there. And then Regal fucking goes there.
Met Eric and Bruce. Had a little conversation with them. There was a lot of people, so can't get too long, but did talk to Eric and Bruce for a minute. They're both very nice. Eric was one of the stars of the weekend. He was really engaging. But we after that proceeded over to our first symposium, I guess. Panel, I guess. Panel is the word they would use. Which was the Monday Night Wars debate with Eric and Bruce, moderated by Conrad Thompson. Yeah. Really cool there, just going back and forth, chopping up the Monday Night Wars. A lot of good jokes. A lot of going back and forth. One of my favorite things was Bruce telling Bischoff, "Hey, when you signed Lex, we didn't like him anyway. He was a pain in the ass to deal with." Said Pat Patterson called me and says, Brucey, Lex is on the Nitro. My reaction was, well, good, fuck him, he's their problem now. I found that one to be kind of a kick. After that, just pretty much stayed in the same area, and because the next panel up was Botchamania with Cassio Kid. Ron Funches came up, did a little bit of stand-up comedy, which Ron Funches, anybody who's seen Undateable, he's been in a couple movies. He's best known probably for At Midnight on Comedy Central. He is a funny mother effer. He was hilarious.
We don't cuss on this podcast anymore.
Nah, we don't.
You cussed me out in the first 2 minutes.
PG podcast from this point forward.
Wow, from this point, 16 minutes in, it is now a PG podcast. Hey, I talked to Matthew.
Yeah.
He said he's going to make a Botchamania of your career.
You probably could.
He's just going to get all the footage and put it on one reel. All of your career.
No, Matthew had been awake for, I think he said 28 hours, just barely made the panel.
Are you up in the draft?
Not yet, but I will be. He missed the meet and greet because his flight got delayed. But this panel was hilarious. Tony, because they had Schiavonne, they brought up Tony Schiavone, and Schiavone had never seen any of the clips that he played. And he played some of the more famous ones. The Evolved Johnny Gargano and Johnny Gargano and Drew McIntyre tag match against Tony Nese and Clay O'Connelly, where the ref completely fucks the finish, and then so the crowd's dead, and then Drew McIntyre says, "Come here, grabs a fan, says, we're gonna pretend that this isn't gonna end up on Botchamania, and this is the actual finish." And then, the thing I've told that story is because at that point...
I'm just glad I've never seen a referee botch a finish before.
Never have we seen a referee botch finish. Nope. At this point, I see a stage... The cool thing about this one, I see a stagehand come over frantically waving at Cassio, then all of a sudden, we got a very special guest, Mr. Cody Rhodes and his beautiful wife, Brandy. And so Scorpio Sky pretty much just crashed the panel, and Cody told the story. Have you ever seen the match when it was Priceless, where the referee completely fucked up on SmackDown?
I don't recall.
It's a pretty famous clip. It's on YouTube.
I don't watch a lot of Botchamania. I don't revel in people's misfortunes.
But he tells this absolutely hilarious story about this. And again, of course, they show him the clip again. But then Cody just kind of said, "Hey, y'all having a good time?" He goes, "Hey, I don't know if y'all heard. There's a wrestling show Saturday night. All In. Anybody going to that?" Which, of course, gets a pop from the crowd. But
was there anyone at StarCast that wasn't going to All In?
There were a few.
Yeah.
They actually did an all-in watch party at StarCast with I think the Hurricane went over after he did the over budget battle royal. And I know I think a couple other people, I think like Leva hung out there. So they had a few people just in case you weren't going. But there were a few people that weren't. We actually had a guy at our hotel who was came for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then had to go back to Indianapolis Saturday night.
Huh.
He had to go back as soon as the convention ended on Saturday. I
suppose I could have done that. Well, I couldn't have taken off Thursday and Friday, but...
Yeah, so that was the first day of StarCast. Pretty good. Got a picture with the man himself. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. As we were...
You should have got him to record Slam Fam.
I should have. But
that's what you should have done.
What?
All your meet and greets, you should have had him record Slam Fam intros. We need more.
Yes. But maybe next year.
Make me wait a year.
But
Could you just imagine? Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to the Slam Fam Wrestling Network. Welcome to the family.
So, but we gotta get moved because we're already just through Thursday. So Friday, after a little bit of sleep, we.
This isn't a travel log, Regal. I'm trying to insert some entertainment into the podcast.
We get up, we go back over, and that is when my infamous retro promo with Mr. Tony Schiavonne hit the internet.
Hey, it's Tony Schiavone.
That's not what Tony says.
Okay.
Tony thankfully did not call me a slapdick.
Oh my god, I would have lost my shit if you did.
But that was cool. Like I said, it was cool getting to meet Tony. I'm a huge fan of Tony, a huge fan of his podcast.
Sounds like he's a huge fan of yours now.
I think he is, because I pretty much had him. He laughed at the end. I about had a break in the middle of the promo, so I was pretty proud of myself. But after that, we hit up...
Was your promo supposed to be funny?
I mean, I wanted it to be humorous, and I wanted it to, and I had the idea of the Superfans promo, because I kind of come up with that, like, what am I going to do? Because I wanted to be something about it. And I wanted something that hopefully people will keep sharing it on Twitter and Facebook and social media.
It hasn't gotten as many shares on Twitter, has it?
No, it's up to like 2,000 views on Twitter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it might be over 2,000 at this point. But
so Regal's over again, guys.
Yep.
Give it a week.
Well, I was over with people at StarCast. I literally had a guy at the after party come to me and said, "Dude, did you cut a promo with Schiavone?" I'm like, "Yes." He goes, "Dude, friend of mine shared that and said," he goes, "fucking awesome." So, like, as I was walking up, because they only let one in the room at a time, so they didn't have background noise.
Yeah.
The guy told the guys in line, he said, "Man, you got a tough act to follow after this kid."
He called you a kid?
After this guy, I don't know, but he's like, "You got a tough act to follow after this one, man. He was good." I said, "Thank you." Tony has not seen the moonsault, but he said he would now after hearing about it in the promo. I
got the impression that Tony didn't watch wrestling much after he left WCW.
Probably until he went to MLW. I don't think he did.
So you're turning the draft?
No, draft ain't even started yet. But after that, we went around the vendor room for a little bit. Are you
going to pick Khalil Mack?
He's a defensive player, no.
Oh. I was just trying to pop Mark to make Mark Storm cry. Sorry, Mark.
God, Mark Storm's going to give us an angry tweet just over that.
Hey, Regal, a reaction's a reaction.
But after that, we went to... What was it for? Oh, what happened when Monday? What happened right after he did the retro promos? Tony went directly to the What Happened When panel with him and Conrad. They brought out Medusa, and Medusa told... Huh?
Keep going.
Medusa told some pretty hilarious stories about Tony. They brought out Tommy Young.
Nice.
And Tommy Young talked about some Crockett stuff, and of course the reason they brought out Tommy Young is because there's a funny bit that they do on What Happened When Monday with Tommy Young and the Barbarian. But they Tommy Young told a story about Ric Flair shitting himself in the middle of a match.
I think there are a lot of wrestlers that have done that. I don't think that's as uncommon as...
But it's pretty funny when you hear about Ric Flair doing it, let me tell you. But no, it was a fun... then, of course, Scott Steiner crashed the thing at the end and chased Conrad off.
What's the story with that? I don't know.
Okay, so Conrad cut a promo a couple months back on What Happened Monday on Steiner, and then they booked Steiner for StarCast, and of course, they do this video where Steiner's like, "I'm coming looking for Conrad Thompson and his fat ass." You know, the whole fat asses gimmick that basically I think what started out as a disagreement actually between the two. Yeah. I think they turned a shoot into a work. So, and now it's fucking hilarious because it became a running theme of the convention of, "Look out, Conrad Scott Steiner's coming." Where? Cool. After WHW, we did Total Nonstop Jarrett, which I ended up in the front row for, and asked a question of Jeff that popped a buddy of mine, Tom Richards from the Uncle Mike and Tom show. I got a DM this morning. Says, dude, sitting here at 4:30 in the morning watching the StarCast, and all of a sudden I pop because you come up on my TV during the Jarrett panel. No, the Jarrett panel was actually really cool. They brought up Scott. They had Scott come out and talk about the Main Event Mafia. They had Gail Kim and Velvet Sky. Karen Jarrett was there. Conrad came up on stage and basically tried to talk Jeff into doing a podcast with him again.
Why is he so desperate to do another podcast?
Dude, can you imagine Jeff going through TNA stuff?
No, I mean, it sounds, but no, I'm talking about Conrad.
You'd think you'd be too damn busy, but apparently not. Apparently he still wants to do another podcast. He's openly said he's been after Jarrett for a while. I know at one point he also said he tried to get Tommy Dreamer to do an ECW retrospective podcast.
Nice.
But after that, we had a Dungeon of Doom meet and greet. Okay. This is where one of my few problems of the weekend. We show up at the Dungeon of Doom meet and greet. We're actually really close. We're really close to the front of the line. We show up. We go in the room. Only Kevin Sullivan.
I love Kevin Sullivan. That's the only one I'd want to see out of those three anyways.
So we're sitting there. Barbarian finally shows up. We're still waiting. Apparently, Brutus the fucking Barber can't tell time.
Who?
Brutus the fucking Barber. The Zodiac.
You hear that, ladies? If that ain't a 2-for-1 special, I don't know what is. Brutus the fucking Barber.
Brutus the fucking Barber cannot tell time.
He'll give you a new do and he'll do you. Brutus the fucking Barber. Is that what you meant?
But so Brutus is literally, by the time we get it, we're an hour late. And it was cool to meet the Dungeon of Doom, but I was hoping we could get out of that quick.
That was when you got a deal on, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got one of the deals on that one. But so after this, we're tired and we're hungry because we've been standing in line for over an hour.
Did they have food vendors there?
They had the restaurant at the hotel, which had a all-in StarCast inspired menu. They also had ODB's food truck, which I did get some at the after party, and it was excellent barbecue. It's called ODB's food truck is called the Meet and Greet. MEAT.
Yeah, I got it, Regal.
Yeah.
I'm the smart one, remember?
So up next, we were going to go to the all-in press conference and weigh-in. By the time we got out of the Dungeon to do press conference, because it was an hour late, the line, even though we had Platinum VIP, we could have just basically went to the front of the line. We didn't want to deal with the line because the line was stretched all the way back to the goddamn hotel lobby.
Yeah.
For put that in perspective, the door to get into to the expo hall was at the back of the hotel around the long hallway. So it literally stretched around the hotel. So we said, you want to leave and just go get food, come back, and then we'll just get in line. Then we'll just wait for the roast of Bruce to start. We're like, yeah. So anyway, ended up leaving, skipping the all-in press conference, which I heard was great. Hangman Page admitted to killing Joey Ryan.
What?
Yeah. Then we headed. We went and got some food. Came back, kind of rested up.
I can't believe you're mad at me for talking on the phone during this.
We went to the roast of Bruce Pritchard. Highlight of the weekend, man.
Oh, sorry. I bumped it. Keep going.
Roast of Bruce Pritchard, the highlight of the weekend. There are jokes that literally I'm not going to... I gave you some on the phone. I'm literally not going to tell the jokes on the podcast. They were pretty funny. I will give you a recommendation on a stand-up comic out there to anybody who likes comedy. Check out a guy named Dan St. Germain on, if you've got Apple Music, he's got a couple CDs on there. Dude killed me. He was amazing. Brutus was there.
There's comedians on Apple Music?
Yeah. Brutus was there. Eric Bischoff was
Brutus
up there.
funny?
No. Eric... I'm trying to figure out who was less funny, Eric or Brutus.
Eric wasn't funny?
Eric self-admittedly admits that he is the least funny person on the planet. So, Medusa was very funny.
Who's the funniest wrestling person?
The funniest wrestling person on the panel was probably Scott.
Scott Steiner?
Or not Scott, Sean Waltman.
Oh.
Waltman was on it. He was pretty good. Pat and Jerry were pretty funny.
Jerry's pretty funny.
Pat and Jerry were pretty funny. The Stooges. Lawler came up. Did not stay up on the panel, but he did come up and make a surprise appearance. He was pretty good. He told a hilarious story. And then, the comedians. And then, of course, Bruce got up and roasted everybody at the end, which was pretty good. But packed Expo Hall and probably the highlight of the panels of the weekend. Saturday we just kind of. Saturday we had to.
How was the food? At the roast, Bruce Pritchard.
There wasn't food at the roast.
What?
That's not what a roast is.
What?
We've been to a roast before. The roast of Matt Cage.
Oh yeah. There was food at that. There was lasagna. It was delicious.
Well, yeah, they had food at that roast. Bad example. But no, Saturday we.
Was there lasagna?
I was gonna hit post wrestling on Saturday. But
so disappointed.
They moved my Kenny and Coda meet and greet. So here's the thing with the Kenny and Coda meet and greet. We got in line over an hour before the Kenny and Coda meet and greet.
If I would have gone with you to that, I still would have gone to John and Way.
And thank God we got in line an hour before, because it took about an hour and a half, I think, to 2 hours after they started to get us through the line. Mm-hmm. And the line still stretched to the lobby. It's like through the lobby by the time we were done with the meet and greet for Kenny and Coda. For the Golden Lovers. It was insane. There's so many people for that. But after that, we just kind of we kicked in the vendor room. I got some pictures with some people. I took a lot of pictures with a lot of people. You can see.
Okay, so here's my question.
What's up?
If you're attending this StarCast next year, if you are someone who doesn't want to pay a lot of money on the meet and greets, is the StarCast bracelet going to StarCast worth it if you don't do...
I could literally have not done a single meet and greet and just went to panels and had a blast.
No, I'm saying not go to panels. Just go and meet the people in the vendor room and stuff.
There were people everywhere.
Okay.
Like the main hallway of the hotel.
There are people that you can meet with the bracelet.
Yeah, they did some meet and greets. I think Kenny and Coda was just strictly meet and greet. The guys from Being the Elite, you had to pre-buy.
Yeah, I don't care.
But a lot of the legends, a lot of the indie talent, they were just set up in the main hall at tables, and you could just go by and get a picture. I got a picture with PCO.
You did? I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, I picture PCO.
Did you post that one?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
A lot of the pictures you see that aren't in a actual room, where you see PCO, both my pictures with Jordy and Grace.
Like that picture of Jordy and Grace and Teddy Long with crotch in the background?
Yeah, with Teddy Long crotch in the background. Yeah, that's in the vendor room. The ones with
You mean there wasn't a crotch meet and greet?
No, there wasn't a crotch meet and greet. That was at the Black and Brave merch table.
How much was that one?
$20 to buy a T-shirt.
And get a picture with... Did anybody get a picture with crotch?
I don't know if anybody got a picture with crotch. I saw a young lady get a picture with Connor Braxton.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
I mean, nothing against Connor Braxton, but if I was going to go get a picture with somebody, I'd get a picture with crotch.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a picture with crotch at my wedding.
Yeah.
He was at my wedding, though.
Yes, he was. But, no, a lot of guys, my pictures with PCO, Danny Monet, Summer Rae, Alicia Tout, I'm trying to think, there was somebody else I grabbed in the main that was
You grabbed someone in the main hallway?
A picture I got. Oh, your buddy Matt Stryker.
Fuck Matt Stryker. I can't believe you got a picture with that prick.
I did just to troll you. It was free. He didn't charge me.
He didn't charge you?
No.
Did you say, hey, my best friend thinks you're fucking trash. Can I get a picture with you?
I told him you were his biggest fan.
You did not.
I did.
Did you really?
No.
That's libel. I could sue you for that.
No, but no. So then we did hit the Death of WCW panel, which was funny just to see R.D. Reynolds, the writer of Death of WCW, from Wrestle Crap, and Eric Bischoff basically just torch each other. But
was Eric a dick to him?
No, a lot of it I think was a work. But it was pretty fun. Kevin Sullivan was up there too. He had some pretty good insight. But after that,
did Kevin get along with R.D. Reynolds?
Yeah, Kevin's a very nice man. I found that out both at the dungeon, at the panel, and at the Dungeon and Doom meet and greet. But after that, we head over to All In.
I've always been a huge fan of Kevin Sullivan. You're on Friday. You're on Saturday already.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were still on Friday.
No, we moved it through. I'm trying to get us through pretty quick, just to kind of give you the highlights. And we'll talk about All In a minute. Sunday, we slept in. We were exhausted. We did go to the after party Saturday night. That's when we got the ODB's food truck. Got to see
Did you get wasted?
I was.
You were already wasted.
I had already had enough beer in the suite, and I had a few more at the after party.
The too sweet?
It was definitely too sweet, but we were in suite 37.
Oh, was in suite 2.
I wonder who got suite number 2. That would have been pretty awesome. So
what was the after party like?
We got there way late because we were stuck in traffic.
Did you take anybody to the 4th floor of the Marriott?
I unfortunately did not. So, that didn't work out so well. But, no, we got there super late. Literally got there in time to hear DJ Z DJ for a little bit.
You knew I was going to do that. It's the
only
only spot I'm getting in this week, folks.
Got a couple beers. Got some ODB's food truck.
Yeah.
And then saw Downstate came out and did like 5 songs. They did All In. A couple.
Ole, ole,
no, not that
ole,
song.
no.
They did a couple of their originals, and then of course the last 2 songs they did I Came to Play, which is Miz's entrance music, and then they did.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I did. Please tell me more about this guy, The Miz.
He wasn't All In. But and then they closed, of course, playing Kingdom, which is Cody's entrance music, and is a great song. Sunday, like I said, but Sunday, yeah, just kind of slept in, got up, went over. So I was supposed to do a meet and greet and get a picture with Bernard the Business Bear and Barry the No Bear from Being the Elite.
Story. He's told me like 3 times already.
So we show up. The meet and greet's supposed to be at 10. I was gonna get through the meet and greet real quick and then go to Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling. Show up, no bears.
The Bears.
No, not the Bears. These guys actually have talent.
Get the fuck out of this house.
So, oh shit, what time is it? I got a little time. So the Bears don't really end. I figure we'll talk about All In at the end because you can talk since you've actually seen the show. You
it's going out of chronological order, guys. Hey, come on, Regal. The Bears.
Okay, so the Bears were nowhere to be found. And then I leave and go to the vendor room, talk to Jordy and Grace for a little bit. What are you doing?
An ad came up on the game I was playing.
Oh. So.
Are you up in the draft?
Huh?
Can you live?
Yes.
Do live commentary on your draft?
No, we're not gonna do live commentary.
Who's all in it?
Merrick Brave.
This is Merrick Brave's league, isn't it?
John G.
Does John G know about sports?
I don't know. Sean Morrow. Nevin Knoxville.
I saw Nevin Knoxville today. Oh, I didn't tell you Nevin Knoxville was in my dream last night.
Huh?
I told him about it when I was at his store today. I'll tell you. Are you talking about wrestling? All In Starcast?
Well, we're talking about Starcast, I thought.
Yeah. Well, you just stopped talking.
So,
I wasn't there.
Okay, so you interrupted me. Oh, yeah. So the Bears still no show. I'm going to the vendor room. I go to see Jordan Gray. We talk to Jordan Grace. I grab a picture with Tessa Blanchard. Go back upstairs about an hour later. At this point, I've missed Art of Wrestling. The start of Art of Wrestling.
The start of wrestling.
The start of the Art of Wrestling panel. There's still no
November
Bears.
1948 at the First Hotel in Waterloo, Iowa.
There's still no Bears.
No Bears.
Yeah, no Bears. So I like, what the hell, man? Because there were some people that waited the entire time that didn't leave. Finally, I grabbed somebody.
They were like furries.
There's somebody in the store. Maybe, I don't know what their weird lifestyle is. But
I I really popped myself there.
God damn it! I was trying to sell that one. That was funny. Maybe they were. I don't know. But I mean, I just wanted the picture because I figured it'd be a funny picture.
Regal's a furry.
No, they're on Being the Elite, man. But they're still not there. So I grabbed this girl who is in a StarCast.
Grab the girl.
I didn't grab her. I just said, "Hey,
watch out, Lollet." No, I'm kidding.
I said, "Hey, what's going on?" She goes, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just told to bring water here." I'm like, "Well, there's nobody here." She goes, "Yeah, that's why I'm kind of just listen. Well, can you find somebody that does know? Because
he was way ruder to her than this."
Well, yeah, I 4 days of lack of sleep at this point, it kind of hit me. So the guy says, "I'll go find out." At this point, Conrad Thompson, who is basically running the convention, comes out and says, "Okay, so here's the deal. We lost the Bears." I'm like, "What do you mean?" The Bears went to All In, the suits.
They weren't on the show, though.
They weren't even used on the show. And then they got put on the wrong truck. And they got put on the truck with the ring that was supposed to go back to Pennsylvania. So they didn't have the Bears. Literally, and here's the thing, people kept saying, "Oh, we can't find the Bears," and at first, and everybody's like, you think they're kidding at first, haha, the Bears went out partying all night in Chicago or whatever, and of course, even the people in line were making jokes. It's like, that's pretty bad. Bernard's all business. He should have been here on time, and Barry doesn't do drugs or alcohol, so he shouldn't have been out partying, So that kind of goes on. So basically,
you were the one making those jokes?
No, we all were in the line originally.
Oh.
But basically, no Bernard Barry meet and greet, which it is what it is. No, I didn't get to go to Art of Wrestling. I did have my mystery eat and greet though, and which an eat and greet was you got to basically go to a hospitality room, about 12 people. Have lunch and get to talk to a personality for about an hour and a half. We signed up for a mystery one, so you wouldn't know who the talent was. It ended up being ROH Television Champion Punishment Martinez. Now, I'm going to be full of disclosure here. I had built up in my head, I thought it might be Kenny Omega, maybe it was going to be Bruce Pritchard, somebody bigger. Bigger in my mind.
I was gonna say Punishment Martinez is bigger than both.
Punishment Martinez is a big dude.
He's bigger than both Kenny Omega and Bruce.
And I kind of built up my mind.
Kenny's kind of short.
But as we got into talking to him, first off, he's actually a really smart guy. Great guy. We've actually found out he is a trained mixologist.
A what?
A mixologist, a bartender. But kid actually create his own cocktails.
Well, so can I. You just pour shit in a bottle.
No, I mean create new cocktails and shit. That's what a mixologist does.
I can do that too.
You don't understand. Never mind. But
you put the beer in the bottle and then you put in the liquor.
I'm going to punch you. But
well,
this episode, Margaret.
Don't bring me into this nonsense.
Your husband's about to get punched in the face.
By who?
Me?
Okay.
Margaret, did you
will you give me the laundry?
Hey, Margaret, did you like the president I got you from All In?
Yes, it was very nice.
You got to the president?
Stop infringing on my gimmick.
What? They gave me a bunch of... Everywhere I went, there was pins.
I know, but I'm going to start collecting pins. Bitch, I did it first.
I got a pin from the roasted Bruce Pritchard.
Get your own gimmick. Hey, Margaret.
What?
He's only stealing your gimmick because he can't steal mine.
No, Punishment Martinez actually ended up being a super cool guy to talk to. Number one, he was on the show.
He rides here.
He was on the show for All In in the Over Budget Battle Royal.
Yeah.
So he gave us a bunch of backstage stuff that, as we talk about All In, I will probably go through. He talked a lot about Ring of Honor, talked about his background. We got into, what he kind of thought the future held for Ring of Honor. I did, and shout out to our boy Zach Takis, because I know he will be happy about this. I mentioned specifically to Punishment Martinez that Ring of Honor needs to come to Des Moines, Iowa.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Because they have a Sinclair station, and if Pro Wrestling Revolver can draw 800, I think Ring of Honor shows
Hey,
could
Margaret,
draw.
we put this back in.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I think Ring of Honor shows could draw huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was basically the final thing I did for the weekend, except for one thing, which I'm going to save for the end of the podcast.
The bus ride home?
Well, no,
I was on Facebook
the other
Live.
thing. But
I don't remember. Velveteen Dream?
No.
Anyways. Yeah.
So Alex, we actually just rewatched. I just rewatched
Margaret,
the
we
show.
throw stuff in the washer and the dryer.
Give me a sec.
Thank you.
I just rewatched the show with you.
Yeah, I was here.
I guess I should start out with we got over to the Sears Center. We went to Flip's All Out Party, which we paid $20 for all of about 5 minutes. Basically, we paid $20 and got a free T-shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees exclusively for the people that went to Flip's All Out Party. It actually is a really cool shirt with a really cool picture of Flip doing like his point thing that he does at the Chicago skyline. And it says Flip's All Out Party, September 1st, Sears Center parking lot. And it was also really hot, really muggy, and they were also, when I got in there, we found out they were charging $10 for a beer.
Was it good beer?
I mean, it was Coors Light.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Pretty good beer, but I don't know if any beer. I'm cheap. I don't think any beer's worth $10. So we got one beer.
What about Bernard the Business beer?
I don't know, that'd be a pretty good beer. Thankfully, our suite mates, I guess I would call them, our people that were with us that were in our 21-person VIP suite, it was too sweet. We weren't
I
sweet.
was wondering when you were going to make that joke.
We weren't in suite 2, unfortunately. We were in suite 37. I can only imagine how awesome it was for the people that got suite number 2, because they literally were too sweet. They were actually at the top of the stairs in the front of the line. So I got my beer, and then basically we pushed our way through and met up with our party. And I believe I was officially the probably 4th or 5th person to enter the Sears Center for All In. When I took a picture from the suite, and Todd Countryman literally responded and said, "Were you the first one in the building?" I said, "Literally, almost yes."
Quick question.
What's up?
Were the seats assigned,
In the suite?
like, in the Sears Center?
Yeah, why?
So why did it matter when you walked in?
No, I didn't. We wanted to be... myself and Douglas being the people that got the suite, we wanted to be the first ones in the suite.
So that you could make sure everybody else got in okay.
Yeah, and make sure that when people came in, everybody knew who everybody was.
They're being hospitality.
Yeah, hospitality, basically. So we got up to the suite. I almost overcome with emotion. I just walked out. I looked at the crowd, looked at the ring, looked at the entranceway, walked around the suite, saw all the food. I opened up the fridge and looked at the 52 cans of beer that we had.
52 cans of beer on the wall.
And just, I gave the loudest Ric Flair woo in history, I think. Before the show, I mean, we had a couple of times to kill, but it was cool. Got to hang out with my buddy Craig, our buddy Adam, friend of the podcast, who's going to be mad that we didn't let him come in and do the show with us for this week.
It was all you.
Okay. But,
I didn't even know you wanted to do it.
Yeah. But, our buddy...
Starcast at all?
No, him and Garrett he rode up with Garrett and Garrett's girlfriend, just to come to All In. Jason Thomas, former local referee, and his family were in the suite. Casey Carr from Man Country.
Yeah.
I know our buddy Thomas Montgomery was popping for the fact that we had the boys from Keokuk, Iowa, Man Country. Cool.
From Keokuk, Iowa.
Yes. Cool story. Barbarian was wearing Man Country gear all around StarCast, which Man Country is a non-for-profit charitable organization that is run by a friend of Doug Ritter's that joined us at All In. Got to talk to them a little bit about what they're doing, and they're going to be bringing, hopefully next year, an even bigger wrestling show to Keokuk, Iowa.
Yeah.
So,
Man Country Mania.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be we on the Slam Fam next year. We'll get. I'll already tell you right now. Next year, Slam Fam probably going to be a little bit more involved in that.
In Man Country Mania.
In Man Country Mania. So
okay.
I met those guys. I really like those guys. I'm going to try to see if I can do some work with them. But All In, I guess we should start at the beginning. All In 0 Hour kicked it off with the boys from Being the Elite. The guys themselves, Cody and the Buck, came out, gave a little speech, just welcomed everybody in. It was pretty cool. Opening match was SCU. I will tell you, people, Cody and the guys from Being the Elite might have been the only people at StarCast more over than SoCal Uncensored. Everywhere in the place, all weekend long.
Yeah.
I mean, just randomly, you would hear people yell, SCU!
Because it was their alma mater.
Well, yeah.
South Chicago University.
Well, no.
Right?
No. But, no, they were
SCU?
super over. They came out to take on the Briscoes. Obviously, you can kind of come in a little bit more now. We're going to actually talk about the show.
I can come in now?
Well, you watched the show.
I did watch the show, but okay.
I thought the match was...
Are you up in the draft?
Yeah, I'm in the draft.
Are you up?
Yeah.
Pick Muhammad Ali. Just to mess with him.
No. I thought it was a great opener. Of course, the building was electric at this point. Great opening match. What did you think?
I liked it. I've only seen Scorpio Sky a handful of times, but obviously all those guys are, some veterans of indie wrestling, so really some of the founding fathers of big independent wrestling. They're not founding fathers, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, they're big names. So it was cool to see them in that match. SCU, I don't really know what that is.
SCU! SoCal Uncensored.
But that doesn't answer my question. Are they just? Is that just a thing from Being the Elite, or is that something they do in Ring of Honor? Okay.
But they're super over because they're guys that have got, the gimmick is they're on every episode of Being the Elite, wherever their Ring of Honor is running or wherever they're going, this is the worst town I've ever been in. And then they basically explain why, and then they just yell, SCU, and walk away.
I'm going to have to check out this Being the Elite.
But, up next...
Somebody's sitting there like, Alex has never seen an episode of Being the Elite. No, I haven't.
Up next, the over-budget Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Probably the greatest Battle Royal I've ever seen. If you were there live, I think you would agree. This match was...
You have to remember that my favorite match of all time is a Battle... Well, are we going to say that... Or can we contend that a Royal Rumble isn't the same as a Battle Royal?
Actually, Punishment Martinez and the Eat and Greet, we talked about that a Royal Rumble is different from a Battle Royal.
Okay, yeah.
Because a Battle Royal, everybody starts at the same time, so it's hard to get a shine in. In this match, they worked it in a way where every single person in the Battle Royal got a moment to shine. From, Austin... They had Austin Gunn in the match, the son of Billy Gunn.
I do think that was, a little politicking.
No, the kid's a trained wrestler. He's actually in great shape.
I never said he wasn't a trained wrestler, but there's lots of people that were trained wrestlers on the show.
What about our boy Marco Stunt?
Oh, love Marco
Stunt. Marco, what's that move that he did when he was dancing?
He's flossing.
Flossing, that's what they call that.
Something you can't do,
because he eliminated Moose.
He did, yeah.
And then he was flossing. My girl, Jordine Grace, was a star in that Battle Royal.
She did,
I love her.
If there's a Mae Young Classic next year and she's not in it's going to
How
be...
has she not been in a Mae Young Classic?
Can we talk about that part of your promo?
Oh, God.
Uh-huh.
Folks, the look on Margaret's face right now as she looks at me is pretty
I don't give
priceless.
a shit if you're trying to do some kind of Ric Flair nod.
Yes.
Jordynne Grace deserves better than that.
I did have a few comments about Jordynne Grace. Was it Tessa Blanchard? And the beautiful people, I think, is who I said I was taking to the penthouse suite of the Marriott.
Now, beautiful people, I didn't think you were talking about the tag team. I thought you were just saying in general.
I met Velvet Sky and Angelina.
Damn it, Regal.
They were actually right outside of the room where they were doing the promos, and I'd been looking at them, glancing at them, for a while there.
You're disgusting.
Maybe.
Apologize.
For what?
Being disgusting.
I cut a promo.
Apologize.
I'm sorry, Jordine Grace. And the beautiful people. And Jess Blanchard. You are all lovely wrestlers. You are lovely people.
Hey, hold up. Would you call Kenny Omega a lovely wrestler?
You are amazing wrestlers. You are amazing people. You are great
human beings.
With
feelings, personalities, and brains.
Can we get back talking about
incredible athletes? No.
I'm going back talking about them over a bunch of Battle Royal. No, Punishment. We during our interview, during our meet and greet, we talked to Punishment about it, and I actually asked him. I said, "Can you kind of pull the curtain back and explain, what went into putting that Battle Royal together? Because this was different from any Battle Royal I've ever seen, where everybody got to shine." He basically said, "Yeah, Cody. They had a meeting before the show with all the guys at the Battle Royal. Said, it's a Battle Royal. You know what the object of a Battle Royal is, but I don't want this to just be another Battle Royal. You guys figure it out. Come up with ways. Everybody gets an opportunity to shine, to show what they can do, show what they're about in this match." And I think they accomplished it perfectly.
You asked Punishment, were there certain people that took more of, who put it together?
Well, they had the veterans in there. I'm assuming Tommy probably helped put a lot of that together. So you had Tommy Dreamer, you had Bully Ray, you had Billy Gunn, you had Chuck Taylor, who's a great, Trent Beretta.
Oh, you know who else is a great agent for big clusterfuck matches?
Who?
Ethan Page.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
Where you had to cluster.
That's a gimmick
on clusterfuck.
Yeah, he has to agent the clusterfucks.
Colt Cabana was in there, obviously. So you had some guys essentially in the match that were probably working basically as agents in the match itself.
Is Colt Cabana agent for Ring of Honor?
I don't think so, but maybe.
Do they have agents at Ring of Honor? They should have.
But it was a no. Battle Royal was great. I feel like Jordine is one of the people I keep mentioning her name because I obviously love her so much.
As a wrestler.
But she really stood out. Brian Cage really stood out. Punishment stood out. Everybody stood out. And then, of course, at the end, the nephew of Chico El Luchador jumps in, eliminates Bully Ray, rips the hood off, surprising no one that it was Flip Gordon, which I kind of called and figured out that was how it was going to go.
Oh, Regal.
What?
Regal booked all in, guys. He showed up the first day and said, "I don't know what you fuckers have planned, but I can come up with something better."
If you watched Being the Elite, it was fairly obvious to know where that was going. But after that, we got into the main card. Opening match, an impromptu unsigned match. MJF versus M-Dog, Matt Cross. I'm going to be honest. I feel like they, especially with what we get into later, I feel like they should have bumped this match to the pre-show.
Or just put both of the guys in the Battle Royal.
Well, and my biggest problem is they didn't let MJF talk.
Yeah.
Which, MJF was another guy who was a star at StarCast. Basically, MJF at his autograph table or whatever, if you got within his field of vision, you got roasted. I was walking down the hallway with a group of guys earlier.
What did he say about you?
Literally, well, the only time he roasted me was we were walking down the hallway, and then all of a sudden I hear, "Can you cows move any slower?" And of course, behind me is MJF. The hilarious one was I saw a guy walk up to him at the after party and go, "Hey, MJF," and try to shake his hand, and MJF literally just looked at him, scoffed, and then literally walked around the kid. I love MJF because he refuses to come out of character. This match, it was a good match.
Yeah.
But yeah, should have been on the pre-show, especially with what we'll get into, with them not, basically, the pay-per-view almost ends before they get the main event done because they had a 4-hour window for pay-per-view, and when you have a 4-hour window for pay-per-view, you don't
Was
have...
it available on traditional pay-per-view?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And when you have a 4-hour pay-per-view window, you don't have 4 hours. You have about 3 hours and 56 minutes.
Yeah.
They almost didn't get this show in. It was pretty close.
Would they have had to have went back and rebranded it as Almost All In?
Wow. But, no, this match, great match, but probably should have been the pre-show. The guy should have been the Battle Royal. After that, we had Christopher Daniels taking on the Arrow, Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
What did you think? I'm going to ask you, what we're going to do, how I'm going to ask you what you thought, and then I'm going to give you the kind of live, in-ring, in the arena perspective.
I thought it was okay. I was pretty critical of this booking choice, I feel like, from the beginning, just because I kind of thought, like, you have Christopher Daniels, who's one of the best wrestlers out there, and when you put him in a match, there's going to be a certain level of expectation that I just didn't think Stephen Amell was going to be able to meet in this show, and I kind of felt that way. I thought it was fine for what it is, but I had expected... I had expected more from. I would have hoped for more from a Daniels match, and I thought Amell was not put in a situation where he could have been as successful as he could have been in another situation.
See, I think this was actually probably one of the best situations they could have put Amell in.
I disagree.
He's in the ring with Christopher Daniels, who is one of the best in-ring technicians in the history of wrestling.
Right, but that's why you're expecting a great match from Daniels, and Amell can't work a great match.
No, but I think Amell worked a serviceable match. That for a guy who's basically partially trained, has had 3 matches, I think did a hell of a job. Absolutely was. I thought he was great.
Right, but you could have put him in an 8-man or a scramble or a tag and protected him more, and then let Daniels have a great match against another worker. It's really kind of a disservice to Daniels. That's just my opinion. I
thought this match was great. I thought they told a good story. I thought Amell looked great. The crowd was into it. I mean, and obviously I'm a huge Arrow fan, so I got to see Stephen Amell wrestle, which was pretty awesome for me.
I was never against Amell being used. I'm never against celebrity involvement, but my point is, put them in a situation where they can be successful.
But Amell took an absolutely hellacious bump through a table.
Which he didn't need to do.
He worked his ass off in this match, I thought. No, I thought the match was fine. I enjoyed it, but again...
It was fine, I guess.
Then we had the NWA World Heavyweight title match, Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis. The entrances for this match were awesome.
Yeah.
The big fight, MMA feel, coming to the ring with essentially fight camps. You had Cody come to the ring with what he calls the Nightmare Family of Diamond Dallas Page, Tommy Dreamer, 2 men that are mentors to him that were best friends to Dusty. And then you had...
See, I never knew that. DDP didn't surprise me. I didn't know Tommy and Dusty were so
Tommy
close.
and Dusty were really good friends. And then you had Glacier, Ray Lloyd, who is Cody's... It was actually a personal trainer. And I can tell you from being at StarCast, that man is still in amazing shape. It was Cody's personal trainer. And then you had... he also brought Brandy's stepbrother and her father to the ring with him as part of his group. Oh, and Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Gotta mention Pharaoh.
Brandy was out there, too. I'm surprised you weren't
Brandy
salivating about that.
I'll tell you what, man. Pharaoh was over. Everywhere he went at StarCast, everywhere he went all weekend, Pharaoh got a pop. So, Pharaoh's a good boy. So,
all right, Regal.
For those of you who don't know, Pharaoh is Cody's dog.
I've got a question for you now.
What's up?
Little off topic.
What's up?
All right. So you're getting ready to come out of retirement, have a big wrestling match. You're getting ready. Who's your fight camp? 4 guys.
4 guys?
4 guys.
Doug Ritter.
Yeah.
You.
Okay.
Nevin Knoxville.
All right.
Seth Rollins.
I'm sure he's not busy. All right. Yeah, I guess it was already a fantasy scenario with me and you. All right. You want to know mine?
Sure, go ahead.
You, I guess.
Okay.
Former Iowa Hawkeye Steve Manders.
Good pick.
World's greatest martial arts master, Sensei Bach. And Todd Countryman.
All right. But no. The match itself, I've seen a lot of people say they didn't like this match a lot or whatever. I thought the match was great. Again, live, the crowd was so into it that people like Aldis. I've never been overly into Aldis as a wrestler. I feel like he's just kind of.
You weren't Aldis in?
I feel like he's kind of herky-jerky sometimes. Some of his movements are a little stiff. But I thought the match was good for what it was. They told a great story. Obviously, Cody juiced. Bad. Fondness for blading like his father does. And then we had the run-ins from Daivari and DDP. DDP hitting a diamond cutter, gives the crowd a pop. Giving Cody time to blade. And then Cody goes over and everybody's happy. I mean, and the NWA now has Cody Rhodes, the hottest wrestler in the world, as their NWA World Heavyweight Champion as they try to rebuild their brand. I think the match accomplished everything it needed to do. What do you think?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I never really thought all this was that big of a deal. I thought it was kind of a downplay for Cody, but I think with that moment, with the great job that my friend Dave Lagana is doing with the 10 Pounds of Gold series.
Those all incoming vignettes were amazing.
Yeah, my friend Dave Lagana is very talented. Yeah, he just makes it feel like a big deal. He makes you want to see it. So it was good, yeah.
After that, we had a 4-way women's match. Dr. Britt Baker,
which you wouldn't know if you only read the results on Sports Illustrated. Maybe they'll have the results of that match on their swimsuit issue.
We had Dr. Britt Baker, who came out looking awesome in a actual doctor's coat. Came out to Adam Cole's old Ring of Honor entrance music, which was the nice thing. We had Chelsea Green doing basically a Two-Face from Batman gimmick, where on one side of her she was Chelsea Green, and then on the other side of her she was the hot mess Laurel Von Ness.
Yeah.
Which
I liked that. That was nice.
And it was great. She played it to a hilt too. Madison Rayne, the veteran in the match. And then we had the Impact Knockouts champion, Tessa Blanchard. Tessa doing an entrance, and then a really nice thing for her entrance. In the entryway, she came down. On one side, her father, Tully, and on the other side, her stepfather, Magnum TA, who both helped raise her, who she has gone in interviews and said she loves both of them. Great moment for her to have both of her dads there in attendance. Both those guys are great guys, too. I met them a couple years ago at the Hall of Fame. I saw them walking around StarCast, but didn't get a chance to talk to them. But good for them to get to kind of, I love the fact that as much as, some people say these guys killed the business, you had Jerry Lynn as a ref. You had Tully and Magnum making appearances. You had Earl Hebner as a referee. You had...
These guys are clearly fans of the business.
Jeff Jarrett out there as part of, they call it as his fight camp. Tommy Dreamer DDP. You had legends in the wrestling business.
Well, Tommy Dreamer's been killing the business since before it was cool, and that extremely crappy wrestling.
You're just trying to troll, and I'm not.
I'm just feeding the trolls a little bit, trying to.
The Bucks and Cody and Kenny, these guys are fans of wrestling, and they, while doing their own thing, also acknowledge the history of the business on this night, and I think that is something that needs to be kind of put into perspective. But no, this women's match, I thought it was great. I thought the women worked their butts off. They all got moments to shine. This is probably the best Madison Rayne match I think I've ever seen. Tessa Blanchard, to me, is the future of women's wrestling.
She's a star.
She is a superstar. She is amazing in the ring. She can brawl. She can do technical. She can fly. She is, let's face it, smoking gorgeous woman.
She smokes?
She's smoking.
That's so unhealthy.
No. God. I hate you trolling bastard.
Can I just say something?
What?
I'm going to make my prediction. Within the next 5 years,
Yeah?
there's going to be a women's main event at a WrestleMania.
Yeah?
It's going to be Charlotte and Tessa.
Wow. That's a bold prediction.
I really don't think it is.
See, and I'm going to get into that at the end because I'm not so sure, but we'll see.
What do you mean?
Where some of these people are going to end up.
Oh, sure.
But I mean, I could see that happening. There's a chance you're not wrong. I've already heard. Well, it may not even take 5 years. Have you not heard that rumor?
I'm saying Charlotte and Tessa.
Have you heard the rumor?
Yes, I'm not saying it was to be the first women's main event.
Yeah.
I'm saying it would be a women's main event.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't say it would be the first.
But
yes, I have heard that rumor.
yes.
Rumor and innuendo. Well, you know.
But here's the thing. These women went out there. They worked their butts off. Like I said, I thought it was a great showcase. Tessa went over, which a lot of people called it. I feel like a lot of the finishes on the show were predictable, but nobody complained.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute, because I get a little irked when people complain about predictable finishes. It's called storytelling. You don't necessarily want to be surprised. You want it, like, I hate this notion that, I think this is a product of the Attitude Era, is that, you know, nobody, like, when Harry Potter fucking killed Voldemort and fucking saved the day and lived happily ever after at the end of Harry Potter, nobody said, "Oh, fuck, predictable ending." When Dorothy gets back to Oz at the end of The Wizard of Oz, nobody said, "Oh, fuck, predictable ending."
Your point is well said. But,
it's called fucking storytelling, dumbasses.
Yeah, you got a point there. So
You can tell a good story without having a surprise ending.
So, up next, a match that I think if you're going to give a Show Stealer award, this is it. We had, and of course, this is the match that set the internet on fire, as we pretty much all knew it would. Joey Janela, the bad boy, with Penelope Ford, taking on the man who, at the weigh-in and press conference, admitted that he killed Joey Ryan, Hangman Page. This was a Chicago street fight, which obviously plays up to they let Joey Janela do his type of match, which they should. It was crazy. It was wild. There was one of the best placement spots ever where they pull a thing off what looked like a table, and it was revealed to be a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Which got a chant of Cracker Barrel. Joey, they used it. At one point, Joey Janela rolls it at Adam Page. Page jumps up, jumps over the barrel, and gets a Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong.
Meanwhile, I was singing "Roll Out the Barrel." You ever hear that song in a baseball game, Regal?
I don't think I have, actually.
They sing it at Brewer games. Maybe it's a Brewer thing, because it's a barrel of beer. I think it's an old German song.
Okay.
I'm really being serious about that.
I did not know that.
No, keep going.
But no, it was.
This was probably my favorite match of the night.
There was they fought up onto the rampway. Joey Janela pulls out two tables. Joey ends up taking a running powerbomb off the ramp, and only hits one table, and his head smacks the second table and doesn't break. It looks pretty sick, in my opinion. They get back in the ring. Penelope Ford spots.
Oh my gosh.
Penelope breaks up a 2 count. She pulls out a bag and reveals Hangman Page's boots that talk to him about the murder of Joey Ryan, so he freaks out. He tries to attack her. She does an amazing backflip combination, does a Matrix spot into a stunner that Hangman Page sells like The Rock selling Stone Cold. And then she does a crazy dive off the top rope onto Hangman.
Sorry.
And then, so her little bit, she looked like a superstar.
She is a superstar.
She is. They get back in the ring. Joey gets the advantage. He sets up a table, brings in another ladder, puts Hangman on the table like he's going to do a dive off the ladder on him. The crowd chants safety first as Joey Janela goes up the ladder. I thought that was a nice touch.
I obviously never seen a Joey Janela match before.
Hangman gets off the table, goes into the garbage bag again, and pulls out the phone that he used to kill Joey Ryan. And then proceeds to bash the phone against the head of Joey Janela, strangle him with the phone cord, and then picks him up and gives him a insane rites of passage, which is, I guess, how would you call rites of passage? A reverse a back tombstone?
Yeah, sure.
I guess is how you would describe it to people that if you've never seen the rites of passage. He hits this move and through a table, and you can tell it's the finish because Todd Sinclair doesn't even bother to check the shoulders as he counts 3.
That's right. I noticed that. Regal didn't notice that.
So the match is over. But all of a sudden the lights go out and a video plays of Joey Ryan, bloody, laying in the hotel bed where we thought he was dead. And we get the res erection of Joey Ryan. And then we see purple lights, some dry ice maybe on the thing, and a parade of dick druids, as I called them.
The fluids.
The fluids, as someone called them on social media. Essentially, guys in giant penis suits.
I agree with Gary Freeland. I think they're chef hats.
Come to the ring, and then make an entranceway for the res erected Joey Ryan. He's not dead. He's back. He comes to the ring, rubs himself with people. Hangman screaming, "You're dead. You're not real. You're not real. You're dead." Joey hits him, puts his hand on his the dick, does the dick flip, takes the lollipop out of his trites, sticks it in Hangman Page's mouth, super kicks him, and then the Druids take Hangman Page out of the arena to a chant of "Rest in penis, rest in penis." Yeah, that's the internet moment where some of the establishment, we'll just call it, some of the veterans of wrestling, not too happy about
Teeny Jarrett's grandson left.
Yeah, Teeny Jarrett's grandson actually posted a sign on his booth saying that after that segment he could no longer be a part of StarCast and All In. Jim Cornette, of course, went off on social media. That kind of whole deal, but you know,
Jim Cornette didn't like that?
Jim Cornette didn't like it. So shocker, right?
Jeez.
And used it to get himself over. But after that,
I'll say this: I don't have a problem with it. I wouldn't have booked that. I wouldn't have booked something.
You wouldn't have booked it, but you get why they do it. Wrestling's a buffet.
I guess, yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, I mean, it is what it is. Wrestling.
I
don't like it.
I didn't like. I mean,
you like the match, but you just.
I liked the match. It was fine. Like I get what they did, and I get their point that, you know, people bitch about Joey Ryan, and so Joey Ryan basically, for all intents and purposes, it was basically a fucking parody of The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have a problem with The Undertaker being dead, but you have a problem with Joey Ryan being dead.
What was the great tweet you read me? Joey Ryan fake died and got more people to care about it than if Jim Cornette actually died.
Yes.
That I thought was actually kind of funny.
I'd be sad if Jim Cornette died.
What was next? Oh, was it Kenny? We're forgetting the match.
I'm trying to remember. It might have been Kenny. I'm surprised you didn't have the results pulled up.
Wasn't it something else done?
That sounds right.
Where's all? There we go. Jay Lethal, Flip Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I knew we were forgetting a match. Flip Gordon comes out with Brandy as Team Friend Zone. Brandy wearing a Major General Brandy Rhodes outfit that I get a feeling. What did I say? You know, Cody be like, "You're bringing that outfit back to the hotel, right?" Because I have no bones about it. Everybody knows I've been vocal about the fact that Brandy Rhodes is one of the most beautiful women on the planet. But Flip comes out, obviously, to a huge reaction. Because the whole story, obviously all the Elite fans know the story of Flip doing everything he could to get booked. And Cody kept saying, no, you're not booked. You know, blah, blah, blah. Flip snuck in the back door, won the Battle Royal. Finally got himself booked on All In. And we get a backstage little vignette. Jay Lethal walking. You see someone hand him a pair of Macho Man sunglasses. He kind of looks at him, and then they slap him on the shoulder, and then you see him stiffen up. And then we got Pomp and Circumstance and Black Machismo. Jay Lethal wearing the actual gear that Randy wore to the ring when he made his first appearance in WCW, and along with bringing Lanny Poffo, the brother of Randy Macho Man Savage, to the ring. This was a great moment. This was probably Adam's favorite thing at All In, because he is a huge Black Machismo fan. I popped. It was awesome. Match I thought was really good. They told a great story with Flip, coming nearly within eyelashes. Did some great stuff with the Black Machismo gimmick where Jay Lethal kept thinking that Brandy was Elizabeth. I think this match told a great story where Flip doesn't win the title, but I think wins the respect in the end.
Yeah.
That's all you got?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked Flip. I thought Flip is just such an incredible wrestler. He moves great in the ring. I like the spots with Brandy.
How does he do that thing where he does the kick flips? Like just where he's kick flipping around the ring?
I don't know.
The nip ups. You know where he's doing the nip up thing?
Yeah, I think
where
so.
He keeps avoiding the punches. I'm like, how do you do that? That's incredible flexibility. But no, I thought this match was great. But basically, decent match. Then we kind of set up for basically what essentially was a triple main event. The first match of it was Kenny Omega taking on Pentagon Jr., the dream match that could only happen at All In my opinion. The crowd in the building was absolutely electric. Like, from Penta coming out, essentially, it doesn't get a heel reaction, but you could tell the crowd was just waiting. And then the moment that the music hits and Kenny shows up, that place went insane. That was a crowd that was there to see Kenny Omega. They were super jacked. It was just awesome to see. I was just full on going insane as a fan. I loved it. I thought these guys went out and absolutely had a hell of a match. Just back and forth. Great stuff. The package pile driver on the apron by Pentagon. Kenny spins him around, gives him a package pile driver. The reverse Rana spots. The 4 attempts blocked at the one wing angel. Finally, Kenny hits the 5th one. This probably, just from a crowd standpoint, probably one of the best matches of the night. And probably my favorite match of the night. Finally getting to see Kenny Omega live was absolutely probably one of my biggest highlight. It was probably my biggest highlight of the All In show. Alex, what do you think of the matches of guys who watched it?
It was a pretty good match.
I know you haven't seen a lot of Pentagon, so
I've seen Pentagon live 2 or 3 times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, AEW.
and Glory Pro.
Glory Pro. So
I've seen AEW. I've seen Pentagon live at least 3 times. Actually, no, I wasn't. No. I liked it. It was a good match. I don't think, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm just not a huge fan of either guy. I recognize they're both great wrestlers. I like both guys, but neither of them, I just don't buy into them being like major attractions for me, I guess. I don't know.
But, I mean, and like I said, you're watching the show on TV, whereas I was. I think there's a little bit of live versus TV. But I really thought the match was great. After that, we had Okada versus Marty Scurll. A hilarious bit in the back where Marty has Larry and Marvin, I want to say their names are, the 2 guys that yell at everybody on being the elite, and point at them. Marty finally has enough of being told that he can't be a heavyweight wrestler and breaks their fingers. Marty comes out, of course, to an amazing reaction from the crowd. Looking with absolutely amazing entrance gear for the villain, with the plague mask and the bird suit and all that.
That was cool. Yeah.
Okada comes out. Thankfully, we didn't get goofy G1 Okada with the balloons. We got Rainmaker Okada, complete with Okada bucks falling from the ceiling. He comes to the ring. Big match feel. These guys had one hell of a match. I honestly think this was probably the best wrestled match on the card.
I can see why you'd think that, yeah.
The only problem with this match is, as I found out talking to several people at All In, and especially when I got to talk to Punishment Martinez at the Eating Greet, they went way over their time. The show had already started running long. Hangman and Joey went over their time as well. A couple other things might have gone a little bit over. By the time we get to the main event, we're getting pretty close. Because here's the thing. All In was, I think, when it was originally... I mean, they were worried about selling 10,000 seats. They weren't worried about pay-per-view or streaming. Then they were going to stream it. Then the demand became so high they put it on traditional pay-per-view, which meant you had to rent satellite time, which means you have a window. So the main event, and I mean, I pointed this out to you, they went directly from... Oh, shoot. What? We forgot to talk about one major thing in Kenny Omega versus Omega Okada. We'll get back to that in a minute. But the main event, they went basically from the Okada versus Scurll match. Essentially, while the guys were still leaving the ring, they were already pitching the main event entrances. But before we get to the main event, we got to go back, because I don't know how we forgot about this. At the end of Okada Omega gets up, he's celebrating. Pentagon's down in the ring. The lights go out.
Yeah.
They're out for about a minute and a half.
Yeah,
legitimately, well, the way it was storming, you could hear thunder and lightning in the building.
Oh, okay.
It could have been a power outage for all we knew.
Yeah, there's a lot of storms this weekend.
But we're thinking, okay, it's going to be
I feel sorry for anybody who's camping this weekend.
It's like, we're thinking it's going to be the firing squad. We're thinking it's going to be this guy, that guy, whatever. We come back into the ring and there's nothing. Penta's still laying in the ring. There's nobody there. Pentagon jumps up, attacks Kenny Omega, and then proceeds to give Kenny Omega a running code breaker. And at this point, I figure it out, and I kind of looked at the monitor in the suite and realized that the tattoo is different. And the crowd is absolutely electric as the mask of Pentagon gets ripped off to reveal Y2J, Chris Jericho. Now, here's the thing. Yeah. Jericho was playing in Kansas.
Yep.
That night. He was said there was no way he was going to be at All In. He was too big for All In. No way was he going to show up. He wasn't going to be there.
Which should have been a clue.
Well, the thing is, he had a booking.
Yeah.
So, legitimately, here's the thing. He shows up, he runs in, attacks Kenny Omega, says, I'll see you on the Jericho Cruise, which is coming up in October. Chris Jericho's Rockin' Wrestling Rager at Sea. Cabin's still available. Go to JerichoCruise.com.
Wow. Regal, I didn't know you were so carny.
But Jericho then proceeds to, as he's leaving the building, bump Don Callis at the commentary table, and then post an Instagram video, literally from an airplane. He leaves, goes out the back door, jumps in a car, leaves, goes to a private airfield about half a mile to a mile away, and flies to Kansas in time to do his set with Fozzy. That is commitment to wrestling, commitment to basically fooling everybody.
Yeah.
Because nobody thought Jericho was going to be there. And the crowd, I mean, that was a moment for everybody.
For sure.
When he does the slowest mask pull-off in history, and you realize we all got worked. It's Chris fucking Jericho. Jericho's all in. Jericho working a U.S. wrestling event not run by Vince McMahon, which he originally said he wouldn't do.
Yep.
And that's going to be big going forward. Could Jericho be bound for someplace else?
I think he can make a big impact in North America.
I think he can make a big impact, especially with the companies in Canada. So Main event time. Really quick with the entrances. We get Flamito and Bandito coming out to Mysterio's music. Then we get Mysterio. Then we get a really fast entrance from the Bucks and Coda. Obviously, I could tell at this point they're running out of time. Because why else would we not get the Golden Star entrance music for Kota Ibushi? They get in the ring, and right from the go, it's go, 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 go. High spot, high spot, high spot. I mean, they were just... this was everything it was supposed to be. A six-man tag. High spots. Obviously, there was a dive by Matt Jackson immediately into a Golden Star, a Golden Triangle from Kota Ibushi. Rey Mysterio Jr. with a top rope Asai moonsault onto a pile of guys. They brawl into the entryway. Nick Jackson does an insane dive off the rampway. Everything is just going 90 miles an hour. At one point, it gets to a point where you literally hear from outside the ring, you hear someone screaming, "Go home, go home, go home."
It's Paul Turner.
Paul Turner, I think, was screaming, "Go home, go home, go home," because Rick Knox was the referee. Super kick, super kick, super kick. A more bang for your buck, including a super more bang for your buck with Kota Ibushi doing a moonsault. Meltzer driver to Bandito for a 1-2-3. They hit. You get the Bucks celebrating, and then literally Ian Riccaboni doesn't even get the I'm Ian Riccaboni, Excalibur, Don Callis, the commentary team doesn't even get it out before they have to go to the production graphic and then fade to black. They literally, Cody Rhodes, after the show, all the guys from the Elite come out, except for Marty.
Yeah.
But Marty had also just wrestled. They come out, they talk about, basically, they made it home on the pay-per-view with 3 seconds to spare. It was that close. I asked Punishment Martinez during the reset. We asked him. I said, "Well, what was it like backstage there towards the end? What did you see? What did you know?" He immediately said, "He goes, well, I was in Gorilla," and I was like, "Oh, really? Ooh, do tell." For the show, they actually, Matt and Nick and Cody actually produced it. They were on headsets in Gorilla, except prepping for their match, and then right away after. Cody, Matt did, I think Matt and Nick did the first half, and then Cody did the second half. Cody was apparently screaming on the headset, telling them they get somebody to tell them they have to go home. So Paul Turner ran to the ring. Said it was pretty chaotic, but thankfully with 3 seconds to spare, maybe a little more than 3. That's what Cody said in his promo. But they made it home just barely under a mile. Which, I mean, could you imagine? Because ECW's first pay-per-view actually ended that way. Could you imagine if they didn't get the finish to the main event? Everybody that said that they were going to fail would skin them alive on social media today. Thankfully, they got it in.
Although, I'm going to say, there couldn't there be some criticism for them cutting it that close?
I mean, there could. And, there were some reasons. Obviously, they've learned. They'll hopefully be better next time. Like I said, I think, obviously, the MJF Matt Cross match probably should have been on the pre-show, or they should have been in the Battle Royal. Because then, even if they cut that match, it's still over a 3.5 hour pay-per-view. So you're still giving your fans their money's worth. And I just felt that match kind of was just added on. I just felt it just kind of like, why? Also, if you're going to do that match on the pre-show, I thought SCU and the Briscoes should have been on the main show. But aside from that, obviously, Cody comes out. Matt talks. Thanks, obviously, the family. Thanks, everybody. I mean, they were out there for about 25 minutes, and nobody left.
Nobody left?
I saw maybe a few people head for the exits, but the crowd stayed. They wanted to hear from the Elite. They wanted to hear from the boys. We heard them talk. They basically said, thanking their families, thanking everybody. Cody grabs the mic and says, basically the effect of, there's a lot of questions about what the future holds for this group, but I can tell you tonight, and I make you this promise, we are sticking together, all of us. And then he says, I'm going to hand this mic now over to the leader of the Bullet Club, Kenny Omega. Kenny grabs a mic and says, I'm going to be straight up. I cannot take credit for this happening. I have to give all the credit in the world to Nick, Matt, and Cody. And then says, there are a lot of people that, want me to go here or there, but I will tell you right now, I'm sticky. We're not going anywhere.
Sure.
Basically, putting to rest the potential, the rumors that they might go to WWE, and basically teasing that there's going to be an All-In 2. They blow off ticker tape, and confetti, and pyro, and the show, and everybody goes home happy. Obviously, everybody knows I'm a New Japan fan. I'm a Bullet Club fan. I was all in from day one. I got to not only be all in, I got to be all in a VIP suite with some of my best friends in the world. I said it before, I know you weren't exactly high on the show, but I wish you would have been there. This was probably my favorite wrestling experience as a wrestling fan. And at the end of the day, I've always said this, I've been doing independent wrestling for 16 years. I've been commentating, managing, whatever, for 16 years. At the end of the day, I'm still a fan. And I won't ever let that part of me go. And this was, as a wrestling fan, the greatest show I've ever been to. Some of the greatest 4 days I've ever had in my life. I met wrestling legends. I met up-and-coming independent wrestlers. I met, let's call a spade. I met a lot of very beautiful female wrestling personalities. Shout out to my baby Scarlett. We didn't even talk about that. I got to hang out with Scarlett for a little bit.
Your what?
My baby, my sweetie, my lovely, wonderful, amazing Miss Scarlett Bordeaux.
Margaret.
Don't do that.
All right. So I have something I want to talk about, Regal, and I
have one more story, obviously, that we have to close with. So don't.
I wanted to wait to bring this up to you on the air.
Okay.
Because I saw some tweets and I talked to some people, and I have it on good authority that the reason why they blended the sound quality so poorly of the crowd mic so poorly for the live show, the TV show, the pay-per-view stream. I have it on good authority is because for most of the show, the crowd was loudly, ardently chanting, "We want Roman! We want Roman! We want Roman!" Can you confirm or deny this?
I'm not even going to glorify that with a response. Seriously. No, it didn't fucking happen. You're just being a trolling asshole at that. You literally just abused trolling, okay? I didn't think that was possible, but
What do you mean?
did it. That was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
You're grumpy.
I can barely talk. My throat is killing me right now.
Yeah.
No.
All right, tell your last story because we're already over time.
We're way over time. We're like all in. We're way over time.
Go home. Go home.
We're going home right now. So, I've said this was the greatest weekend, probably some of the greatest 4 days I've ever had in my life. As I was leaving for Douglas to take me to the bus station to take my ride home so he could head back to Nashville, I'm walking out to the parking lot in the back of the Hyatt Regency where StarCast was, and walking towards me is, with Jim Ross and a couple of StarCast guys, is Cody Rhodes. Now, normally, if they're engrossed in a heavy conversation or whatever, I wouldn't bother. They look like they were just walking, kind of casually talking, and I said, I tweeted a tweet at Nick, Matt, and Cody, thanking them the night before, saying, and literally started the tweet saying, I don't know if this ever sees you, but I just want to say thank you. And, I'm actually going to backtrack just one sec. Ref Carly Ray from Dreamwave Wrestling, you know Carly Ray. She used to work for Craig and I when we did the Pro Wrestling Next shows. She had brought a disabled teenager with her to All In. It turns out, I believe, something to do with the cameras or the lighting. The accessible seats that they had purchased weren't available. And she had tweeted about it. Cody Rhodes himself responded to the tweet. Now, keep in mind, this is, a couple hours before the show is supposed to start. Probably within an hour. And she got a response from Cody, got a DM from Cody saying, well, give me a minute. Somebody came out, they found them. Cody put them in one of the VIP suites that they had allotted for StarCat, for All In personnel. Cody Rhodes is one of the most driven, nice people in the world, and now going back to me. So Cody is coming towards me, and I say, and in my head, I'm like, I'm never going to get this opportunity. I said, Cody, man, Cody, this is, we walked past my, I didn't yell, but I made sure he could hear me. I said, Cody, man, I just want to say, man, thank you so much for last night. It was one of the best things I've ever seen. Cody stops, steps over, shakes my hand, sticks his hand out, shakes my hand, and says, thank you. And I said, thank you. Last night was one of the best nights I've ever had. One of the greatest experience of my life. And he said, stood to me, says, thank you. We'll do it again real soon. Shook hands and kept on walking. And I'm getting emotional right now thinking about it, because it was one of those moments where I got to show my appreciation to someone and have that person reciprocate the appreciation to me as a wrestling fan and say, look, I get it, thank you for being, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out. It was reciprocated.
Appreciative?
Reciprocated appreciation, I guess is how I'll say it. And it just shows to me how great of a guy Cody is. He didn't have to do that. He could have just said thanks and kept walking. But he stops, takes a moment, responds, just a little bit of conversation, and we went our separate ways, and I left. So, literally the cherry on the Sunday that was StarCast and All In. But I had a great time. Probably the best experience in my life. I've rambled on about it now for about almost 2 hours. So.
Almost 2 hours. How's your draft going?
I'm pretty happy with my team. I've also been drafting a fantasy football team while doing this, folks.
Are you gonna win?
I hope so. Merrick Brave's in this league, so probably not.
He's like really good at. He basically just comes and beats the shit out of you until you give him the trade he wants, doesn't he? Though.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I've talked about that on the podcast before too. Yeah, that Merrick Brave will. If Merrick Brave wants a trade, he's going to work on it until he gets at least a trade, if not exactly the exact one he wants. But no, the show was excellent. I am so happy I went to All In. I'm so happy I went to StarCast. Check it out. I'm hoping there's going to be a StarCast in All In too. I'm hoping it's going to be in Chicago. I will be there. Who knows? Maybe we'll get McCarthy to actually come up to at least a StarCast. He may not go All In, but
no, I think I'd be more likely to go to All In than StarCast.
See, I figured you would be all about StarCast because of the length.
See, I like the idea of StarCast, but it's just so expensive. I wouldn't want to spend that much money.
Here's the thing. I spent a lot of money because I did a lot of meet and greets and stuff like that. If I had just bought the bracelet for the Q&As, I could have filled my weekend up with panels and just went to panels all weekend and not spent any more money.
Does the bracelet get you into all the panels?
Yeah, the bracelet. You have to have a bracelet to get in the panels. I could have just went to panels and had a great weekend. Originally, that was the plan, and then they started doing flash sales and stuff like that, and we ended up buying a whole bunch more stuff.
Yeah.
And I decided, basically, I've always talked about how much I hate the fact I can never go to WrestleMania because I can't fly and stuff like that. They put an independent wrestling WrestleMania in my backyard, and I went. And I had fun. So, that's it, folks.
Lots of independent wrestling shows have had their WrestleManias in backyards.
But it was a celebration of professional wrestling, a celebration of DIY wrestling. But it was a great night. Huh? Hey, Dusty?
Baby.
Dusty!
I want to tell you, Regal, one thing. With a tear in my eye, I am so proud of my son.
It was a great night, Dust.
Absolutely.
I know you was there.
I was there.
Looking down.
Absolutely.
Smiling.
With a tear in my eye, I was so proud of my son.
He's the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Got that 10 pounds of gold, just like you did, Dusty.
He sure did. I'm so proud of him, Regal. Alright, you ready for me? You ready for me to do the plugs?
Do the plugs, Dust. Take us home.
You can go ahead and follow All In at All In.
At all_in 2018.
All_in 2018. You can follow the podcast at Off the Chest TR. Follow Regal at ACW Regal 444. Follow Alex at One Real Smart Alex. Follow Slam Fam Wrestling on Instagram. Margaret did some great videos this weekend from the NCW show. Did you watch them yet, Regal?
I have.
It was very good. You can go ahead.
I did a lot of videos from StarCast.
I saw those. Those were good too.
Yeah.
You didn't put them on the Slam Fam Instagram though.
No, Margaret does the Instagram. I don't have the Instagram.
All right, Slam Fam Wrestling Network on Facebook, and follow Slam Fam Rest on Twitter for Timothy Regal, Alex McCarthy, my son Cody, and everybody involved in All In. This is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Too Sweet, and we out of here. Too Sweet, like I was in the NWO. You remember when I was in the NWO, Regal? That's what Too Sweet was. So